This is kind of odd, but okay, my phone is ringing, so that's cool. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Heather. If you do know who I am, then you already know that I'm Heather, so welcome back. So today's video is something that I could have really used back in the day, and it's something that you guys were interested in, so I thought I would do it. And that is a video about self-confidence and body positivity, sort of. Now, of course, I'm no expert and I still get down on myself from time to time, but I am a lot better than I used to be, so I just wanted to sort of answer your questions and share with you how I am more self-confident and more accepting of how I look. So let's just get right into it. So I filmed this video a few days ago, or like a week ago, and it was very unorganized and I was all over the place. So I'm refilming this and I'm just going to be answering the questions that you guys sent in so that it is more organized. So yes, let's get started. So the first question says, I am self-conscious about my weight. How do you deal with that? And I definitely was self-conscious about my weight and still sort of am from time to time. And it took a lot for me to be able to look at my body in the mirror and be like, I like my body. That's pretty deep, but I mean, everybody knows, everybody throughout their life will probably at one point struggle with their body image, and so I'm just going to share a few things that helped me. So when I was in the deepest rut of sort of self-deprecation about my body, I did a lot of research, which is kind of weird, but I would look things up on the internet and I found out a lot of things that sort of helped me, so maybe they'll help you as well. So obviously, seems like common sense, but women's bodies and men's bodies are built a certain way because women are obviously built to carry babies and men are built to not carry babies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know stuff about the men's side of things, but women's abdomens stick out more because that's where their uterus is, and that's where they are meant to carry a baby. And women's hips are wider because obviously it helps to push out a baby, and obviously not everyone's gonna have babies, but like the way that women are designed, that's, you know, what it's for. And when I was younger and I would look at girls at my school or pretty girls on the internet and whatever, and I would see their bodies and see how skinny they were, and I was like, why don't I look like that? But I didn't take into account that everyone has different body types, and these girls that I was looking at and wanting to look like probably had very slim body types and not the same body type as me. My body type, I have wider hips, and I just didn't really make that correlation between the two, and that every single person on this planet has a different body type than another, and you can't expect to look like someone else who has a completely different body type than you, if you know what I mean. That helped me a lot to be able to just realize that I can never look like Kylie Jenner because I don't have the same body type as she has. So yeah, that's something that sort of helped me, and to just realize that, you know, everyone looks different, but everyone is beautiful. And I saw this somewhere and I wish I could remember where, but in order to truly believe that you're beautiful no matter your weight or whatever, you have to truly believe that every single body type is beautiful in order to accept that. So that's just a little tidbit that sort of helped me out. And obviously there's days that I still struggle, but those are some things that helped me to be more content with my weight. The next question is, how do I care less what people think of me? And again, this is something that I struggled with a lot, especially in high school. I feel like this is probably the prime time where people feel this judgment from other people and are so worried about other people's opinions. And I wish I had like a technique or like what made me shift. I'm not really sure exactly, but for me, I think I just sort of realized that life is short and it's more important for me to do the things that I love and to be happy than to be liked by other people. And I know that I'm surrounded by a great family and great friends who love me, and I shouldn't care what those around me think of me and how they perceive me, because ultimately I need to live my life in a way that makes me happy so that I can fulfill life to the extent that I want to. And obviously I still struggle from time to time and I still worry about judgment, but I just try to remind myself about these things and about how my happiness comes before other people's judgment of me. So that's what I think. The next question is, how do I get past the feeling that my friends don't really like me? And this is something that was difficult for me during like the middle of high school or the beginning of high school, because my friends started wanting to do things that I wasn't really comfortable with, like going to parties and stuff, and I'm still not really comfortable with that. That's just not really my scene. But it was hard because they were doing that more often, which meant that they were sort of doing other things that I enjoyed with me less. So I started to feel like, oh, they don't like me as much. And I think that you just sort of have to have a conversation with your friends and explain to them how you're feeling, and they'll reassure you that it's not you and they still like you just as much. They just want to do other things, and you have to just sort of accept that balance and accept that people are going to change and people are going to want to do things that you might not be as interested in, and you have to just let them, because they need to be happy as well. And if they're really your friend, they'll prioritize you also and make time for you as well. So that's just what sort of helped me, and now I'm living my best life, content with that. The next question is how to disregard homophobia, and I'm lucky enough to have never experienced that in my real life. Everyone has been super accepting, but I do get hate comments online and people telling me that being gay is a sin and that I'm a terrible person and whatever. And I think that the reason that I can just sort of brush that off my shoulder and not really worry about it is that I sort of realized that for these people to be so angry and say such hateful things about something as beautiful as love and being yourself that isn't harming anyone else means that they must be going through something really difficult in their lives, and they must not be happy in themselves, because how could you possibly hate something as wonderful as love? And that's just what sort of helps me when there's a comment or whatever that sort of gets me down. I'm just like, well, I know that I'm not hurting anyone and I'm happy, and that's all that matters. The next question is how to be confident when other people put you down or when you're comparing yourself to other people. And this sort of goes back to the last question, but like I said, if people are saying hateful things towards you, there must be something going on in their own life for them to want to sort of spew hate at other people for no reason. So you just sort of have to not take it to heart and just realize that it's not you, it's their own problem that they're dealing with, and that's why they're doing this. And obviously it's not great, but you just sort of have to realize that it's not you, and yeah. And as for not comparing yourself to others, this is again something that is really, really difficult, and I'm sure that you're still gonna do it no matter what, because that's just, as humans, what we do. We compare ourselves, but you just sort of need to realize that you're your own person and everybody is their own individual person, and you can never be exactly like someone else and no one can be exactly like you. So you need to accept who you are, because you're individual, you're unique, and you should be celebrating that rather than trying to be like somebody else. The next question is, how do I feel like I am pretty enough? And I think with this, you have to realize that beauty is not just on the outside, and what truly makes you a pretty or a beautiful person is everything combined: your personality, how you interact and treat other people. And you should be focusing on what's inside more than what's outside, which is so cliche, but it's true. Like, beauty is not what you see, beauty is what you feel, and that's just, you should feel beautiful if you know you are a good person and you're doing everything you can to be happy and make those around you happy. So yeah, and you're all beautiful on the inside and the outside. And the final question that I am going to answer is how to be confident dressing in a way that you want to and in a way that expresses your sexuality, is what the question was. And I guess this means if it's, I get like different from the norm or whatever. And I think with this, you sort of have to link that to not caring what people think, which is very difficult. However, you have to just sort of accept that this dressing a certain way, if that makes you happy, you need to put that as a priority and sort of block out what other people are thinking or saying. And most people are not going to say anything, and maybe you'll get looks because it's different, but it's just, again, curiosity. Most of these things are just curiosity, and you have to realize that if it's who you are and it's how you like to dress, then that's more important than anyone else's opinion or anyone else's feelings about it. And if people are going to be rude to you about it or judge you for it, that's their own problem, because your happiness is more important and people shouldn't be trying to drag that down. All right, so those are all of the questions that I'm going to answer about self-confidence, but if you guys want another video on this, please let me know and I will definitely do that. Now let's get on to comment of the week. This week's comment of the week is by kittycat26cat, and it says, "You have a tattoo!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And this isn't what I typically do for comment of the week, but I wanted to do it so that I could address that yes, I got a tattoo. I'll insert a picture of it right here. But yeah, I got a little butterfly tattoo a couple of weeks ago. And if you want me to do a video on that, let me know, I will. But yeah, thank you for your comment. And if you guys want to be next week's comment of the week, please let me know down below. Write a nice comment and maybe I'll choose you. All right, that about wraps it up for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye guys.